Alfred Noyes is widely remembered for his rhythmic English ballads, but he also had a sharp instinct for the psychological uncanny. His short story, Midnight Express, is a prime example. The narrative begins in isolation. We meet a 12-year-old boy named Mortimer, sitting alone in his father's vast, shadowy library while a storm rages outside. Among the countless volumes, he pulls out a battered old book bound in red leather. Looking at the original text, we see Mortimer is described as fascinated by the book. It contained an illustration on page 50 that threatened him for some unknown reason, compelling him to keep reading to understand the danger. By closing the book at its most terrifying moment, Mortimer ensures the threat remains unresolved, allowing the imagery of page 50 to linger in his mind for decades. This is the exact illustration waiting for him on page 50, feeling like a deeply personal threat. We see the elements that unsettled him: an empty junction lit by a sickly yellow lamp, and a solitary man facing a dark tunnel. The dread is so acute that Mortimer shuts the book. He refuses to read a single word beyond that page. By leaving the text unfinished, he effectively freezes the narrative. The nightmare of the Midnight Express becomes a permanent, unresolved loop in the back of his mind. Years pass. Mortimer grows into a young man. One night, around midnight, he waits for a train at a dark, totally empty junction. Looking around the platform, Mortimer realizes his physical reality perfectly aligns with the old drawing from page 50. There is the dull yellow lamp and a solitary figure beneath it, facing the tunnel. Driven by an intense, almost involuntary instinct, Mortimer walks toward the man, needing to see the face that terrified him as a child. The figure turns. Mortimer stares directly into the face of the man from the illustration and sees himself. The boundary between the reader and the character evaporates. He has walked straight into his own childhood phobia. A wave of blind panic hits him. He gasps, stumbles off the platform, and breaks into a desperate run down a moonlit road. As he runs, he hears the distinct echo of his own footsteps behind him. No matter how fast he sprints, the sound steadily gains ground. A quarter of a mile down the road, he spots a small white cottage. Seeking any kind of shelter, he throws himself against the wooden door, pounding frantically. The door creaks open. A shadowy figure holding a candle stands in the frame, silently beckoning him to come inside. Running from the platform has brought Mortimer directly to the doorstep of his own nightmare. Every step he takes toward safety serves only to advance the story's predetermined script. The shadowy host leads Mortimer up a set of creaking stairs, into an upper room lit by a bright fire, then quietly departs. Beside the armchair is a small oak table. Sitting right on top of it is the battered old book bound in red leather. Mortimer collapses into the chair and opens it. With trembling hands, he reads a story about a man who, in his childhood, read a frightening book, and is now living out that exact same sequence. As we can see in this final illustration, the strange host returns to the room. Mortimer looks up and realizes the shadowy figure standing before him is, once again, himself. This is the strange cycle of events Mortimer tries to grasp. He is simultaneously the terrified child, the man on the platform, and the monster pursuing him. Mortimer is trapped in a recursive loop, forced to reread the same terror until the distinction between the reader and